How are you, everybody who is watching this fantastic video? My name is Olenjolai single from beautiful country, that United Republic of Tanzania, simply just call it Tanzania. And simply you can call me Sir Olenjolai. I'm a teacher of mathematics. I love so much mathematics. Thank God who has given me a gift of teaching. So expecting good news and good way of teaching and good teaching methodology that we are going to use in this moment. So I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome all international and national viewers into our online Diploma Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania square bracket Olenjolai. Simultaneously, we'd like to welcome you into one of our official YouTube channels that called YouTube channel, that online Diploma Polyinstitute of Tanzania in square bracket OLENJOLAIM. Well, I know that there are so many questions that coming to you. Possibly it is your first time to meet me, or this is the first time maybe you have been roaming around on the internet or on the YouTube and looking for something else or some of the contents, or you have been, or you are asking the search engine of YouTube to assist you to find some of the important informations. And the good news is, if you are ordinary diploma student and then you've been wandering around or you've been asking yourself so many questions, who can help me about the basic engineering mathematics or basic scientific mathematics? So you've been wandering around also, how can I use effectively, or how can I understand the concepts of ordinary diploma basic mathematics for engineers and ordinary diploma basic mathematics for the scientists. So this is the good place and a good platform for you. You will get answers of all your questions day after day, from one session to another session, from one lecture to another lecture. You'll find yourself, you are gathering answer of so many questions that you have in your mind, because I've been in one of the institutions that teaching or training ordinary diploma students, so I know the challenges ordinary diploma students used to experience when they are learning about basic engineering mathematics and basic scientific mathematics, also for those lab technicians and some other courses of science. So you are asking yourself a question, whether you're a parent that watching this video, or a guardian, or a sponsor, or a teacher, or maybe a government officer. You've been asking yourself so many questions about the online Diploma Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania. First of all, it's an online platform, so we don't have any physical institution, but it's very interesting institutions because we are providing content which can help meet thousands of present students or ordinary diploma students and even future ordinary diploma students. So they're using the technique of recording the active lecture and active sessions, and then we upload and we publish to the community of the community of the students who will be benefit from this program. So what visions do we have? That the good questions. I have an assignment to teach, train, incubate, encourage, lead, mentor, and even motivate some of the students who will be ready to extract knowledge and the wisdom from the formal or informal education in engineering and science, and combine that knowledge and wisdoms with the knowledge and wisdom that we are going to extract from the Holy Bible in order to solve real life problems. So our visions has 4 parts. The first part will be teaching you to understand the concept or how you can extract knowledge and wisdom from your formal and informal education. And also the second part will be teaching you how you can extract knowledge and wisdom from the Holy Bible. And the third part will teach you how to combine these 2 different knowledge and wisdom. And the fourth part, how you can use the combinations of two knowledge and 2 wisdom to solve real life problems. If actually that you like to meditate the word of God, if you read the book of Proverbs 29 verse 18, it states that where there is no vision, people perish. If you don't have visions, ourselves who are training you and even our students also are going to perish, right? So that's the point that I want to make before you. So our main objective in online Diploma Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania is not to train you or to teach you to get prepared for the continuing assessment. But our main objective is to see our continuing and even graduating students are solving real life problems. It's sounding impossible. Yeah, even myself, in my own private life, I had pursued what I'm telling you for more than 7, 8 years right now, more than 9 years right now. And when I heard it for the first time from my Lord or my Father who is in heaven, I thought it's impossible. But I realized right now, and I testify before you, it's possible. But it can take several months, it can take several years for you to achieve what I'm telling you. But don't worry about the number of months or the number of years. The main thing is this is our destiny between I and you, and we have to make sure that we achieve it for the benefit of our own families and our own present and future life, and even our countries. Well, so we have so many departments, but one of the departments is called Basic Engineering and Scientific Mathematics. And the modules or the course that I'm going to teach you is algebra. In these departments, I'm teaching you 6 courses or 6 modules of NTA Level 4, NTA Level 5, and NTA Level 6. This material are universal, can be used by any ordinary diploma students or any ordinary secondary school students or any advanced or high school secondary students. So can you access and can use these contents once you find that they are essential for your progress. Again, we have so many, because in algebra we have ordinary algebra. In ordinary algebra we have 5 chapters, and we in chapter 3, this is called the polynomial functions. So we have also 3 subtopics. The first one is called roots of quadratic. This is the second one. The first one was just general introductions, which we covered in lecture 1. Okay, this is what? This is subtopic 2, roots of quadratic, roots of quadratic function. And then it's lecture 2. I want to teach you today about relationship between roots of quadratic functions and the coefficients of quadratic functions. That's just a broad relationship between roots and coefficients of quadratic function. This module at Dar es Salaam Institute of Technology and many institutions in Tanzania, which are enacted, it is being taught in first semester or the first year. So join me and let us go into the interesting part. But before I start my sessions, I would like just to introduce you about our online library that we call the online diploma library, where we have some resources to equip our students to be competent enough and even to do greater than we expect them to do. So in this library, we have some books that can help you to go through basic engineering and scientific mathematics. One of the books is called Pure Mathematics 1 by J.K. Backhouse and S.B.T. Horsworth. Okay, so we have Pure 1, Pure Mathematics 1. We have also Pure Mathematics 2. The good news, it doesn't mean that we have to, in ordinary diploma, we have to cover all the topics which have been written in this book, like in advanced secondary education. No, so we just have to cover a few of the concepts, and we should be selective according to the curriculum of 40 curriculums that guidings what we should teach ordinary diploma students. Again, so you can order this book, or you can order Pure Mathematics 2. Just go to the descriptions, you'll see the link that will take you into the video to see how much we can send to you in any regions of Tanzania. Again, we have some original scientific calculators. We need this device for learning basic mathematics, for basic engineering, scientific mathematics, for all the modules or all the courses that you are going to start. So you need this scientific calculator, you can order it. It's cheap, it's original. Actually, it will help you during your ordinary diploma students, during your ordinary diploma studies, and even during your undergraduate studies. So ladies and gentlemen, let us go now to the quick review of lecture 1. So in lecture 1, we just talked about the general introductions of polynomial function. Okay, because in this topic, we are going to learn all about polynomial function. Okay, so first of all, we define what the means of polynomial function, but the general, just to remind you some of the key points, the general form of any polynomial function. Okay, because we say polynomial function should have basically 4 parts in this one. So we say that f of x this is equal to A. Okay, so we start with A0 or A1. Let me cross check please. AN. So we start with AN x power n plus AN minus 1 x power n minus 1 plus AN minus 2, then x power n minus 2, then plus AN minus 3 x power n minus 3, then plus AN minus 4 x power n minus 4 plus h. So that's the general form of any polynomial function. And we say that we have constant polynomial function. Okay, also we say that we have linear polynomial function. And also we have what? We have quadratic polynomial function. And also we left the first one, which is cubic. So we give you now the name of the functions is called cubic polynomial function. And this is given as ax cubic plus bx squared plus cx plus d. So possibly this is equal to f of x, so it's equal to 0. So we've discussed so many information. Just to access lecture 1 of the general introduction of polynomial function in our YouTube channel, you can find much than what we have mentioned in our quick review. So let us go to today's sessions. Today we are going to deal with quadratic function. So quadratic functions is not a new phenomena for you. We taught you quadratic function as a very special 3D topic of basic mathematics from 2, right? At the time when we taught you. But what we are going to teach you today about the relationship of the roots and coefficient is a little bit new for many ordinary diploma students, except those who come from or who pursued advanced mathematics during the advanced education, advanced secondary education. So let us begin with the fundamental question, which is question 1. What is quadratic function, first of all? What is quadratic function? Ask your neighbor if you're watching at the TV. What is quadratic function? Or ask yourself, what the meaning of quadratic function? Well, quadratic function is the function. So in the function whose highest degree, simple definition is very simple. In the function whose highest degree is 2. So quadratic function is the function whose highest degree is 2. That's the definition. What the general form of quadratic function that we are going to deal? The general form of quadratic function, is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Or is equal to f of x. In most cases it's equal to 0, but let's say it's equal to f of x. That's the general form of the quadratic function. Then, so we have defined the first vocabulary, which is called the quadratic function. Possibly you have never learned about its definition. And this is the beauty of being a student of online Diploma Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania, because you get so many advantages compared to other online schools that you have been taking, or other formal schools that have been, formal classes that have been taking. Okay, so what are the roots of polynomial function? That's the second question. What are the roots of polynomial polynomial function. Okay, what are the roots of polynomial function? That's the question that you have. Or define roots of polynomial function. So say the roots of polynomial function, the roots of polynomial function are the values, okay, are the values of the variable, the values of the variable that cause the polynomial function to evaluate the polynomial function that cause the polynomial function to evaluate to 0. To evaluate to 0 when they are substituted. When they are substituted. So we say that the general form of quadratic function is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to f of x. The second question, what are the roots of polynomial functions? The roots of polynomial functions are the values of variables. So these are the values of variable that cause the polynomial function to evaluate to what? To 0 when they are substituted. Are the means of roots of polynomial function. These are the values of a quadratic function. And when we take these values and substitute into the quadratic function that we've been given, then the answer should be 0. That I mean. So the roots of polynomial function are the values of variable such as x or t that cause a polynomial function to evaluate to 0 when they are substituted. So let me give you an example. Example. The roots of quadratic function x squared plus 5x minus 84 are 7 and the negative 12. So for example, the roots of x squared plus 5x minus 84 are 7 and the negative 12. How did he get these roots? We can solve, as I said in lecture 1, we can solve the quadratic functions either by using splitting the middle term. We can split this middle term. We can use a perfect square. We can use general formula. We can use scientific calculator. Okay. We can solve also this quadratic function by using the general. Okay, I mentioned perfect square, splitting the middle term. Split the middle term. Then we have what we can use graphical method. We can use general formula. We can use scientific calculator. So I mentioned at least the 5 methods that can solve this quadratic function. So even if you solve by using a scientific calculator, you find the roots are 7 and the negative 12. So you want to verify the definitions of roots of polynomial function. So we say that when we substitute any of these 2 roots into the given quadratic function, then the value will be 0. So let us prove. So let's say that this is proof. So you have 7. Substitute in the equation to be 7 squared plus 5 times 7 minus 8, 4. So 7 squared is 49 plus what? This is 35 minus what? 8, 4. Is it equal to 0? Yeah. So the answer is equal to what? To 0. Then you have negative 12. So you have negative 12 squared. Then you have what? 5. 5 times what? Negative 12. And then it's minus 8, 4. So negative 12 squared, this is equal to 144. And this is equal to minus what? Minus 60. This is minus 84. So 4 plus 0, it is 4. 8 plus 6, it is 140. It is 14. So the answer here also is going to be equal to 0. Then the definitions of quadratic functions is valid. A quadratic function has only 2 roots. So remember that. Any quadratic function, so this is not before, bear that in your mind. Any quadratic function has only 2 roots. Has only 2 roots. Any quadratic function has only 2 roots. Okay, that's the point. Okay, so now, ladies and gentlemen, let us go into the relationship between roots and coefficients of quadratic equation or function. So, relationship, let me teach you now. Relationship between the roots. Relationship between the roots and the coefficients of quadratic function or equation. Relationship between roots and coefficients of quadratic equations or function. And here we have a question, and this is example 1. And this one refer the end of semester exam, which we call the FA at DIT. It was the end of semester exam 2016-2017, question 1B. Very interesting. One just to answer this question. The question asks you that derive the relationship. Derive the relationship between roots and the coefficients of quadratic function. The questions also can be asked that derive the relationship between coefficient and roots of quadratic function. So when you do that work, you will win 4 marks. Wonderful. So you're ready to score those 4 marks? If it could be 1 question in the exam, let me know in the comment sections in case you have any question or in case that you didn't understand any point, or in case you want to tell us you enjoyed this content from which part of the, or from which institutions or college or university in our country, in Tanzania or international. So solution. We have to read the relationship between roots and coefficients of quadratic function. That's all. So we know so we say that we'll be following some few steps. The first step, say that we call the general formula of quadratic function. So the general formula of quadratic function is x squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So divide each coefficient by a, left hand side and right hand side. So you say this is x squared b over a x plus c over a is equal to 0. So this is equation 1, ladies and gentlemen. So the coefficient of x squared is 1, the coefficient of x is b over a, the coefficient of x power 0 is c over a. Alright? Are you there? That's the simplest thing. Ladies and gentlemen, let me teach you about the second step. The second step, we say that let alpha and d beta to be roots of what? To be roots of what? Roots of equation 1 above. If alpha and beta are the roots of the quadratic function, then what you have to think. For instance, here we can formulate something called in mathematics factor. Factor because you say the festival of x is equal to 7. So bring 7 on this side. So this will be x minus 7. So this is the first factor. Also x is equal to negative 12. Bring negative 12 on the left hand side. So it will be x plus 12 is another factor. So x minus 7 and x plus 12 are the two factors of quadratic function x squared plus 5x minus 84. Alright? That's the case. So if these are the roots of 40, are the roots of the quadratic functions above, means that we can say that x1 is equal to alpha. The first root is alpha. Let the first root to be alpha, and the second root to be beta. But when we want to form factors from these roots, right? So form what? Form two factors. Then we say that suppose x is equal to alpha, and also suppose another value of x is equal to beta. So we say x minus alpha and the x minus beta are the factors. As the factors of 40 of equation 1 above. So what the means of the factors? Means if we take these two factors and multiply themselves, then we get the original quadratic function that gave us those two roots. What does it mean? It means that if we take the first factor, which is x minus alpha, we multiply with the second factor, which is x minus beta, then we expect it to get what? We expect it to get the original quadratic function. Okay? So, and then this one, because we say it's equal to 0, so even this one we can equate is equal to 0. When you know the value of alpha and value of x, value of beta, if you substitute them there, answer will be equal to 0. Okay? So, if that's the case now, we say, okay, fine. So, we can expand this one. Okay? So this is question 2. So we are in the third stage. So the third stage, we say that expand equation 2. So to expand equation 2, we say that we have x times x is x squared, x times beta, this is negative beta x. Then we have negative alpha times x, it is negative alpha x. Negative alpha times beta, this will make positive alpha beta is equal to 0. Okay? So the coefficient of x squared is 1. But here negative is common, so you can take it out of the bracket. You have beta plus alpha, then x also is common between these two terms, plus alpha beta is equal to 0. Wonderful. So what can you notice in this equation 3? So in equation 3, you can notice that now we have a very interesting coefficient of quadratic function. And this interesting coefficient of our quadratic function, we call them sum of roots, and this is product of the roots. Right? Sum of the roots and product of the roots. So, if you go for the first stage, because you are answering the question, you have to show the relationship between the roots of quadratic function and their coefficients. So these are the coefficients. And these are the roots. Alpha and beta are roots of quadratic function. And then b over a and c over a and 1 are the coefficients of quadratic function. So to show the relationship, the first stage, we say that let us compare what? Equation 2, equation 1, and the equation 3. So to compare equation 1 and equation 3, we can say that negative alpha plus beta, this is equal to b over a. Make alpha plus beta the subject. So alpha plus beta the subject, this is negative b over a. So that's the first relationship that required for you to derive. Then, so this you can go to equation 4. Okay? So we say that again, we have to compare alpha times beta is equal to what? C over a, because alpha times beta, here we have x power 0. We compared this with this because here we have x power 1 and here we have x power 1. So coefficient of x power 1, we compare with coefficient of x power 1. Coefficient of x squared, which is 1, is equal to 1. And coefficient of x power 0, here we have x power 0, which is equal to 1. And here we have x power 0, which is equal to 1. We compare them, and then we find alpha times beta is equal to c over a. So this you can call it equation 5. So therefore, so we say that therefore, the relationship between roots and the coefficients of quadratic function quadratic function of quadratic function is alpha plus beta is equal to negative b over a, and alpha times beta is equal to c over a. So that's the response for that question. Okay, so we can enjoy the beauty of basic engineering mathematics and basically scientific mathematics. And this is style from what? From equation 3. So from equation 3 above, we say that there we have x squared minus what? Sum of roots x plus what? Product of roots. Product of roots. This is equal to what? To 0. So that's a general formula you have to remember for the rest of your life. So this relationship is very important because we are going to use it effectively within a minute. If you have any question about the derivation, don't hesitate to ask in the comment section. So let me take you into the second example, which now I want to teach you how you can solve some questions. And these questions, I took them from the a reference mathematics book, that's Pure Mathematics 2. As I told you that you can order this book in any regions of Tanzania and you can ship in any region with a minimum cost. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me present. Now it's just a matter of solving problems. And these problems will be expanding your understanding. So we'll be expanding your understanding on this stuff. So refer the book that's called the Pure Mathematics 2. Pure Mathematics 2. Pure Mathematics 2. And the question is stated like this, right? Write down the sum. The sum and product. Write down the sum and product of the following question. Of the following questions. And here we have A. This is 3x squared minus twice x minus 7 is equal to 0. Then we have Roman B. This is 5x squared plus 11x plus 3. This is equal to 0. Then you have C. This Roman C, you try it yourself. Have twice x squared plus 5x minus 10 is equal to 0. And this is your homework 2. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the second example which I took from Pure Mathematics 2. And then the questions ask us to write the sum, say the sum. So let me underline this, and product of 40 of the following questions. So these are the quadratic questions. How many quadratic questions you have on the blackboard? 3. How many am I going to do? 2. The rest is what? You have to try yourself, because that's the beauty of what? Of basic engineering and scientific mathematics. So solution. So we have Roman A. Here's 3x squared minus twice x minus 7. This is equal to 0. So you can divide by 3 and divide this one by 3 and divide this one by 3. So this is x squared minus twice over 3x minus 7 over 3 is equal to 0. So suppose that this is first equation. Okay, first equation. So this is the first state. The first state we say that simplify. So you have to express your equation in this form. After such simplification, after these simplifications, we say that we go for the second step. Second step, we say that let alpha and beta to be roots of equation 1. So if alpha and beta are the roots of equation 1, then we can form factors. So form factors. To form factors, I told you that x is equal to alpha and x is equal to beta. Let's do it to beta. So x minus alpha is the first thing, and also x minus beta is the second factor. This should be equal to 0. Right? In order to know the sum and the product of the roots, we have to expand this. X times x is x squared. Negative alpha times x, it is negative alpha x. And negative alpha, x times, okay? So x times negative beta, this is equal to negative beta x. Then you have negative alpha times x, is negative alpha x. Then negative alpha times negative beta, this is equal to alpha times beta, and this is equal to 0. Okay. So if that the case, you say that here we have x squared minus what? Beta plus alpha x plus alpha beta is equal to 0. Okay? So this is the sum of the roots, and this is the product of the roots. And the questions ask us to write down the sum and product of the following questions, of the roots of the following questions. So simply, we can formulate the second equation, beta plus alpha x, alpha beta is equal to 0. This is equation 2. So we go for the steady state. Steady state, we say that compare equation 1 and equation 2. So if you compare equation 1 and equation 2, we say that the sum of the roots, which is negative beta plus alpha, is equal to what? Is equal to negative twice over 3. You can include even x and x, but they will cancel. So they have nothing to contribute. They have nothing to contribute. So divided by negative 1, divided by negative 1. So sum of the roots, which is beta plus alpha, is equal to 2/3. Then if you compare also, you'll find that alpha times beta is equal to what? Negative 7 over 3. So negative 7 over 3. So this is the sum of roots, alpha and beta and alpha, and this is the products of alpha and beta. So the next stage, future state, conclude from an N. So therefore, we say that the sum and product of the roots of the following equations. The sum of roots is twice 30, 2 over 3, and the product of roots is negative 7 over 3. but the answer for Roman A. You see how stuff are simple? Well, that's how we simplify stuff in online Diploma Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania. Then we go for Roman B. Roman B, the first step, as I told you, you can pause the video and try and take this question or example 2, Roman B, as your quiz, and you try on the rough paper and then you play the play button in order to check the response whether your solution is correct or not. So 5x squared plus 11x plus 3. This is equal to 0. So divide by 5 to each term. So here we have x squared plus 11 over 5 x plus 3 over 5 is equal to 0. And this is question 1. Right? So again, we say that we just go because we have already reduced it and this is still the same question. So second step, we say that we compare. So this will be what? Because it is still continuation. So this will be question 3. So we say that compare question 2 with question 3. So if we compare, we find that negative open bracket plus beta plus alpha is equal to 11 over 5. And alpha times beta is equal to 3 over 5. So to make this the subject, beta plus alpha is equal to negative 11 over 5. And alpha times beta, this is equal to 3 over 5. So then we conclude the sum of roots is negative 11 over 5. And product of roots. So now you can try for Roman C. It's a very simple question. I believe that you do it within fraction of a second or within a minute, and then you are done. And product of roots is 3 over 5. 3 over 5. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, allow me to take you into the third example before. Okay, yes. So this is example 3. I would like to welcome all ordinary diploma students into the first year of NTA Level 4, it means National Technical Award Level 4. That is first year of ordinary diploma. So again, refer the same book, refer pure mathematics, pure mathematics 2. Write down equation. Write down equation, sum, and product. Write down equation, sum, and product of roots, product of the equation, whose roots are respectively, here from an A, B, here from an A, the roots are 7 and negative 12 respectively. B, the roots are negative 3 and 5. This is your homework 2. And then we have C, which is fractions, so negative a half, respectively with negative 3 over 8. Okay. I'm about to end this session, so listen carefully and have to get prepared. Once you cover and understand this lecture 2, you have to join me in lecture 3, where now we take you into a little bit challenging concepts of relationship between roots and the quadratic function. Write down equation, sum, and product of equations whose roots are respectively at. Okay, so solution. I'll do Roman A and B, so let me start solution of example 3A. So these are the roots. So the first step, let alpha to be equal to 7 and beta to be equal to negative 12. So we are required to write down the equation, sum, and product of the equation. So sum okay, because there are different ways of solving this problem. So after letting this, we go for the second step. Say that we call the general form of quadratic equations with 6 roots. So you have to recall that we have x squared and the sum of the roots x plus product of roots is equal to 0. So if you have alpha and beta, it means simply we've already mentioned that x minus alpha plus beta x, then plus what? Product of the roots alpha beta is equal to 0. So from this equation, we do know that beta plus alpha is equal to the sum of the roots. Here it is 7 minus 12. Answer is equal to negative 5. But the sum of the roots. But you have to be careful because let us check because we have to be careful as I say. We have x squared minus what? 7 minus 12x plus what? alpha is 7, negative times negative 12. This is equal to 0. So x squared minus what? Plus 5x. Okay. Then 2 times 7 is 14. Keep 1. 84. This is equal to 0. Okay. So suppose that this is equation 1 and this is equation 2. So the steady state, you have to be careful, as I said. Compare equation 1 and equation 2. Beta plus alpha, this is equal to what? We used to say that is equal to negative b over a, which is equivalent to what? To negative 5. Then we used to say that alpha times beta or beta times alpha is equal to c over a. What is c here? Is negative 84. So that the sum and product of 40. Product of equation with negative 84. And then this is our equation. So therefore, so sum of roots is negative 5. Product of roots is negative 5. The equation is x squared plus 5x minus 84 is equal to 0. That's the response for Roman R. We found roots. Now we have been given roots. We found the sum of the roots, product of roots, and also we found the required equation. So B, you have to try. Let me teach you how you can solve for C, and then end this session until we meet in lecture 7, because this stuff are so sweet. If you enjoy the beauty of basic engineering mathematics and scientific mathematics, so C, similarly, alpha is equal to negative a half, and also beta is equal to negative 3 over 8. So we say that alpha, sum of the roots plus beta, is equal to negative a half plus 3 over 8. So 8 over 2, it is 4. This is negative 4. 8 over 8 is 1 minus 3. So alpha plus beta, this is equal to negative 7 over 8. So it's negative 7 over 8. At the sum. Then if you find the product of these roots, alpha times beta, this is of negative a half times negative 3 out of 8. So to this one is 16, 23. So alpha beta is equal to 3 over 16. Now to form equation, so this is x squared so x squared minus this one, and then it's alpha plus beta, x plus what? Alpha beta is equal to 0. So x squared minus alpha plus beta, it is what? It is negative 7 over 8x plus alpha times beta. This is 3 over 16 is equal to 0. So this is x squared plus 7 over 8x plus 3 over 16 is equal to 0. So this is the equation. And if you solve, you find the roots are real. So you can find the KDS, which is 16. Then you can have 16x squared plus 14x plus 3. You can simplify, find the LCM is 16. So 16 over 1 is 16 x squared plus 7x plus 3 is equal to 0. Let us conclude the solution of our problem. So we say therefore the sum product and the equation are so the sum of the roots is equal to it. 7 over 8. Then product it is 3 over 16. And the equation is 16 x squared plus 7x plus 3 is equal to 0. So well, ladies and gentlemen of ordinary diploma, this the end of lecture 2. That stated a relationship between roots and coefficients of quadratic function. As I invite you to join me in lecture 3, when I will teach you now, when you have been given an expressions of the roots of the polynomial, of the roots of the quadratic function, and how you can simplify it and find the value that you've been asked to find. So I thank God who have been with me in the preparations of these sessions, and I thank God who have created me in His own image and likeness. And I thank God who have built the gift of teaching in my heart, in my soul, my flesh, my mind, my understanding. I thank God who have given you opportunity to join me, and I thank you also for taking your time, your valuable time, and join with me. I'm always praying for all my online students. I ask you also to do the same. Please set your time and pray so that you may achieve the vision that you have in Online Diploma Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania. So I ask you and remind you that to subscribe if you are first time, and then so we ask you first, second time, or third time, you may subscribe. And once you subscribe, you find that you'll be getting notification automatically and anywhere at any time from the YouTube community. So share these contents with your colleagues. It's a time right now where the light of mathematics is upon the nations of Tanzania. I'm a national teacher right now, and I'm thinking, how can I reach all the students, all undergraduate students in all the institutions or universities. So may God bless you abundantly. I would like to invite you in the next session. Make sure that you don't miss it. Make sure that you do the homework and submit your homework in the comment section. And so that we'll be enjoying the beauty of basic engineering and scientific mathematics. So may God bless you and keep you safely until we meet in the next session.